Hello everyone, how are you? How are you? How are you? This is the TERRAN Show, episode number 88. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it, as I do every week, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. for my East Coast friends, and 5:30 for my West Coast friends. So thank you every Tuesday for joining me. I truly, truly appreciate it. If you didn't get a chance to check out my prior post, we actually paid off a bill for a cancer patient in need this week. So thank you so much for everybody who's just been, it's an in-kind giving, and we raised money, and we raised $50, and we were able to pay off a bill for a cancer patient in need this week. So sometimes it's just that little bit that helps a lot. So I want to say thank you to everyone for that. Again, this is episode number 88. And if you have a story, I know you do, please make sure you get in contact with me. I would love to have you here on the show. If you know someone who has a story, I would love to have them on the show as well. Hello, Carolina. Hello. Okay, I am going to get my guest in. If you haven't already, make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, whatever that is, on whatever channel you listen or watch the show on. We're on YouTube, we are on Apple Podcasts, and of course, IG right now, IG Live. So let me get my guest in here. Let me get my guest. Chauncey, hello. Hi, friend. Hey, Cameron. Hello, Chauncey.
Hello, we live, I think.
We are. Cameron, hello. Hello, Chauncey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you in real
Good
life.
to see you. Yeah, all right. Good to see you too.
How's your day?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. No complaints. I mean, I'm in Chicago. I know you're on the East Coast. I'm in Chicago, so we're getting ready to enjoy summertime shy. You're in. Tell me where you are again.
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, so you have this all the time. So yeah, tough.
Most of the time.
Somebody's got to do it. Why not you, huh?
Right. We get our little cold spells here and there, but no like snow or any of that foolishness.
Yeah, I moved here from California, so I understand that that cold spell.
Right.
You was like brr.
Yeah, it drops down to like 40, 50,
And it shuts down, right? You guys are like,
well, yeah. People stay in the house.
Tough life, but yeah, somebody's got to live it.
Tell me about it.
Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. As I was telling people before, this is episode number 88, and I always try to thank people because, most people like yourself do this on a whim. You're like, I don't know this girl from a can of paint. You were referred to me. You took that leap of faith. So I joke around and I have a lot of fun, but
right.
I also want people know that, I truly appreciate it, right? This is about connecting people. It's about sharing positivity. It's about love. It's about, getting people, giving back, right? And I was very thankful this week. We did, like I said, earlier, we paid off a cancer patient's bill. And, that's just something that's near and dear to my heart. I know how hard that is. And I just want to say that I appreciate you because you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to be here. And I appreciate your time.
Well, first of all, I like to say, hey, that's awesome the work that you're doing, lightening the load when people are, at some of their dire moments. I've known a lot of people that have been way more than probably should be, my connected circle would have been diagnosed with cancer. And I understand how that works as far as the stress that it puts on people. So you're doing great work. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for having me. I appreciate that. But it's amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Well, let's get into it. I mean, tell us a little bit about you. One of the things I put on your tag was, purpose coach.
Right.
Like
so thank you. So that's actually what I came up with. Because let's just be real. Everybody's a coach now. Like there's still coaches out the wazoo, but I think what really helps is kind of being able to narrow it down to what it is that you help people with. And so purpose was what came to my mind. I actually read a book by wrong person. Evan Carmichael, Your One Word. Okay. And that was because I, started it off with coaching, after, listening to Tony Robbins and like being and just helping people in general. I was like, wait a minute, I could probably do that. And took some, got certified in that stuff. And I was like, but then I was just like, oh yeah, I can help everybody, everything now. No,
Mm.
you gotta you need to kind of narrow that down. So I went through that book, and it kind of just led me towards just helping people to, live their life on purpose. And
Okay.
for me, the definition of that is doing what allows your soul to shine. So,
Mm.
whatever lights you up, that's your purpose. It's not, it doesn't have to be grandiose or great or what, something like larger than life, as you would say. It just has to be whatever makes your soul shine. So, yeah. So that's,
So is there like, I guess, okay, a couple questions. I'm going to go off,
yeah,
veer off. Is
let's
there
go.
like something that, if you could tell people maybe one or two things? I mean, you
Hmm.
can't go into all of it right now, of course, but I like the way that you said what lights you up, right?
Yeah,
Because some people
yeah,
have that question of how do you kind of find, what
right,
like,
right.
you know,
So,
or do you find it or does it find you? Let me ask you that question.
that's where I would start. In my opinion, your purpose and what lights you up finds you.
Hmm.
So, but your job is to basically like open up the space in order for that to happen.
Okay.
So yeah, so you need to just just in general, I think we live this hustle and bustle life, and we get focused on gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta you kind of you're nothing but a checkbox of this, that, this, and the third,
Hmm.
and just taking that time out to remember what it was like, some of the stuff as a kid that you like doing, just some of the stuff that you like doing, just in general. But that, in my opinion, it takes time to, you really have to sit with yourself. And one of my favorite quotes is, know thyself. So you have to
Hmm.
sit with yourself, take the time to get to know yourself. And a lot of times it's going back to that child self and
Yeah.
reconnecting, tapping back in there. But yeah, I think it's just setting up the space for it to be able to find you, and clearing space out for that.
Yeah, I think one of the questions I sent you was, what obstacles might you find along the way? And I think that's one of the things, it kind of ties into that same question because, right, finding the time or creating, I think is your word, creating. And that's, you gotta find, create, whatever that is, that time to kind of sit with yourself and figure out,
Right,
what that is, right? And that's, I think, to your point, all the hustle and bustle of today's world, we don't sit with ourselves enough to kind of figure that out, right?
right. No, absolutely.
I always tell the story too about going back to, your childhood. I tell this story. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I used to get in trouble a lot for talking when I was in like elementary school.
Yeah,
I get really good grades, but in the 70s they said practices self needs to practice self control. That's what
right,
I got on my report card. And today, I tell people I get paid to talk. You
right.
know, I'm in sales in my job, and love to do my show. And it's like so interesting where that led me, right? Like now that's my purpose, and it's
Right.
giving back to others through talking.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting you know, t- just to kind of, sidetrack a little bit, but that's kind of what school's deal is just to kind of keep people and keep and indoctrinate kids. I don't want to say indoctrinate them, but get them to, sit for 8 hours. It very much mimics a work day. It very
Mm.
much mimics a work day. So there's really no advantage for them to explore those options of, okay, why are they talking, that much on class? Is it maybe they have a gift for talking, or maybe they're creative and that's the only way, some kids, my mom was a teacher for like 30 some odd years. Some kids can't stay in their seat. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because the music is playing in their head and their creativity comes out through moving and dancing and that type of stuff. So I think and to kind of tie it all back together, that's where a lot of, that's where a lot of us kind of get, our purpose and what we really enjoy doing and what lets our soul shine kind of get squashed, I think, is
Mm.
during those years. Because to your point, I mean, I know plenty of people that got in trouble for talking, and either they are on the air somewhere, or either they're lawyers. So it's just like it needs to be directed.
Yeah, and I feel like, so as a coach, then, do you kind of drive, I would say drive, do you push or do you pull? I guess is my question, right? Do you feel
Yeah, I
like you
just
push them, or do you push them through, finding the process, and maybe a little bit about what that looks like? Because I can kind of see like some people saying, oh yeah, I got that. And then other people saying, oh, I don't, I
right.
don't know what's going with this.
Well, yeah, my thing is just I feel like I'm a guide to guide people through the process. I got tools and stuff that I could suggest, and
Mm-hmm.
I do that. Obviously that's what I do. Help with people with tools in order to find that. But I don't think it's in my for me. It's not my job to push anybody anywhere, because if you push somebody, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It has to intrinsically come from within.
Yeah.
So, but I can give you the tools to kind of open up those question banks in your
Yeah.
head of, I forgot, I forgot I did this, or I never thought about this, and that type of stuff. So, and I like to use a lot of, like visualization techniques to kind of walk people through visualizing, as well as journaling. You can find out so much, in my opinion, about yourself through just writing
I
in the
like that.
journal, letting it flow, and writing without, the thought of what should I say, what should I put in. No, just start writing.
Hmm.
And a lot of times we can uncover a lot of different things that's going on in our brain, a lot of neural pathways that have been set up that maybe we didn't even set up ourselves.
I imagine. So if you're just joining, this is the Terran Lamp Show, episode number 88. We're talking to Chauncey here, a purpose coach, and we're talking about looking at our purpose and finding our purpose. And what he's told me thus far, what I heard you say, Chauncey, is basically, you give us the tools, right, to
Yeah,
do the work on our own.
right,
And I think that that's important, because you don't, you said it, your own words, I don't push you into anything.
right,
I kind of give you the tools to kind of figure out where you need to go, and kind of, lead you, or I think your word you used was guide us
right.
into where we need to be. But at the same time, don't push us into that. Now, how often, and I imagine it's quite often, does somebody set in there, and it's kind of like this block, right? It's like maybe they come to you and say, or Chauncey, maybe there's multiple things. What about
Yeah,
that? There
yeah.
could be multiple purposes that come into play, into action, and figuring out, is there one, or do I have to pick one, or can I go multiple ways?
See, and that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people think they have this one thing that they
Yeah.
have to do, and it's just like, no. Like I said, in my opinion, it's just whatever makes your soul shine. So, it's you work towards it, and you could be doing multiple things. It doesn't just have to be one.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
like that.
just. But what I've noticed is that a lot of times all of those things will kind of they kind of have an overlapping kind of theme. They kind of all work together anyway. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, if you're looking for something like that, or you're trying to let it find, you got to go
Yeah.
try some stuff and do stuff and see what lands and sticks.
So I guess, one thing, so just looking at your Instagram, just
Mhm.
stalking you a little bit. So I listen to your reels and
Mhm.
things like that. And, when you're speaking and when you're talking about what to do, you come at it, when I listen to them, it's like, you're confident in what you're saying, right? So and I think to myself, can we all get there? Can we all get to where that we have that same inspiring message to give to the world? Because when I listen to what you're saying on your reels and your stories and such, it comes across so confident, and you have a message for us each and every time. Each and every 60 seconds is a message.
Right.
So can we all get to that point where we're, putting that out to the world? And is that kind of what we help people do too?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that
The
it
stalking,
it, it
yeah,
is
no worries.
it's
Gotcha.
covered that way. Um, I believe so. What it really takes. Here's the thing with that, in my opinion. Here's the deal. What it really takes is authenticity, but
Ah,
full authenticity. Because if you're authentic, you don't have to worry about, oh, putting on to become somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So if you're truly and fully yourself, then yeah, you're going to be good. You're going to come at it with full confidence of what you're saying because you're fully confident in yourself. But here's the thing, like, so when I first started coaching and everything, I tried to more become, I guess you could say, like a carbon copy of like other coaches and stuff, what I see on there. And it's so, social media is such a big thing right about now that people are trying to copy and paste formulas to do what the next person did and that type of stuff. But what really kind of, in my opinion, what changed it for me was becoming fully authentic, because for a while I wouldn't talk about like the spirituality stuff, or I would delve into it a little bit here and there. I wouldn't talk about what I believe, some of the stuff with law of attraction and and that type of stuff. But when I did that, that's when things kind of started changing. It's just, it's like don't even, and that's the other thing, don't give a watered down version of yourself either. And that's more, I was just like kind of like any other coach would be, plan your goals, do this, do that, that type of stuff, push through. And it's just like, nah, we gotta break that down.
I like don't give a watered down version of yourself.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people are doing that, because a lot of people are, a lot of us, and it's just easy to do this, scared and concerned about what other people are going to think, especially if you're doing something completely out of the ordinary that, most people won't do. If you're doing something that is something that maybe nobody's done before, you're going to try to, I guess you say, make it more palatable. There you go. For folks. Yeah, there you go. Make it easier.
We both could be saying it wrong, but I think
there you go. I think everybody gets it. But you're gonna make it easier for people to kind of digest it. I'm going to define it so that way everybody can. But you're gonna make it easier for people to try to digest you by just becoming like what other people are, and that's where I think that's when you're doing it that way, you're not going to be confident because you're not going to be truly you. And you can't be confident, in my opinion, from being a version of somebody else.
Yeah, I think that's really true. I wanna read some of your comments really quickly. We've gotten someone just saying hello. I was reading earlier. His confidence shines because he works on himself. Jay's on there saying awesome content.
What up, Jay?
Chauncey, always be true. So, and I think whoever said the working on yourself, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have to, and it kind of what you're driving people to. Someone says, let's see. Here's a question. I feel that purpose is more related with soft skills, while success is more related, is more of hard skills. Would you relate both purpose and success? How would you relate both purpose and success?
Okay.
So hard skills, purpose, and success.
Yeah. So purpose and success, for me personally, I would say, and it might ruffle some feathers, but hey, let's go, whatever. I would say if you're not living on purpose, or you're not doing what truly makes your soul shine, you're never going to be successful. You might attain the materialistic things. You might obtain, you might have the look of success. You might be able to maintain success, but unless you're doing what your soul's come here to do, and you are fully walking in that, you're not going to reach that full level of success. You're not going to be satisfied. And I don't think you have, you could have a level of success, but the satisfaction of, I was able to help this person, I was able to, whatever that is, because most of the time your purpose is related towards, helping people in one way or another. We're all connected anyways. But yeah, so I think that you can have, success without purpose, but I think you got to marry the two together in order to have a meaningful life, or to feel like you've accomplished what you wanted to in life. So I think they got to be matched in there together.
So someone says, success by whose standards though? because I'm successful if I'm fulfilling my purpose. So I guess is that a question? Success by whose standards? Success by whose standards, though, because I'm successful, if I'm fulfilling my purpose. I'm not sure if that's a question or just a comment, but go ahead, Chauncey. What were you
Yeah,
saying?
I think that they're spot on. I think they're saying exactly kind of what I was getting forth before is that, you know, it's the success is really by what you think success is, but
Oh, okay.
it's really, I truly believe that it's a combination of the two, that, you know, it's actually, you know, walking in your purpose and finding what makes your soul shine. And that's the thing. It can change during different times of life too. So, you know, it can all be different. But yeah, so I think that, you know, and that's the other thing. I think that, you know, a lot of times we kind of look outside of ourselves for what we think success is, and we really need to, you know, look within ourselves to figure out what our thoughts of success are, you know, and kind of shoot towards that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think maybe what they're saying then, yeah, yeah, if someone says he says it better. Yeah,
No.
I got what they're saying. They're like, yeah, success is by whose standards? Because, you know,
Right.
I measure my own success and if I'm fulfilling my purpose or not, right? Like,
Right.
I know if I'm walking in my path, if you will,
Right.
or, you know, I think sometimes I mean, for me, I feel like, you know, sometimes I can get that little feeling. Someone says, which I like, what's in your town says, operate in your gift.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
normally those are going to tie together. In my opinion, those are going to tie together. You know, so you're gonna, I think you're gonna find, you know, like I said, it's gonna find you, but a lot of times it will be through what it is that you're gifted at. But a lot of times, I don't think a lot of times people know what they're gifted at because they're afraid to try stuff.
Mhm.
So they're so afraid to try stuff and afraid to do stuff and afraid to kind of um, go back to that childlike curiosity, you know? So,
Yeah, it is scary. So if you're just joining, this is the Taryn Lamb Show, episode number 88. We are talking with Chauncey, Purpose Coach. Make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and of course, you're here with us on IG Live. So I want to know, does your purpose ever surprise you? Not you personally, or maybe you personally, but I always think to myself, like, is there going to be something that I'm supposed to be doing sometimes that, you know, could be like, T, are you really supposed to be doing that? But you feel good about it, but you're like,
yes,
really?
yes. Because personally, I think there's layers to it. Kind of like, so once you kind of start on the path of, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, then it starts opening up and unfolding a little bit more and a little bit
Mhm.
more. And then it becomes, oh, so it's actually going to be this, you know, and I think it all ties in there together. You know, like for me, like, so I've got to get back to it, but you know, middle of writing a book. If you'd asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I would have never said that I'm writing a book. And then I'm gonna coach people, blah blah blah, whatever. Do a little bit of, you know, some videos here and there, help people out. Boom. Now, you know, middle of writing a book. I've got some other projects that I'm working on. So I think, yeah, you're gonna, it kind of gets trickled in a little bit at a time, and I do think that it gets, I wouldn't say grander, but you kind of see more of what's happening, you know, along the way, and what it, I guess is what it could be, you know, along the way
Right.
too. So yeah, so no, I think it does. I think at first it's just kind of get your feet wet, and then it just, yeah, it can grow.
It blossoms. Like you said, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we had two comments here. It always comes down to love for me, being loving to self and to others, but it starts with self.
Yes.
I like that one.
Absolutely.
Um, that's Jay says that's important to know what you are good at. So I agree. You do have to try different things. So
Right.
self-love and trying different things. I think that trying different things is hard, you know, for a lot of us, right?
Right. No, it can be. But because, yeah, you know, fear of failure. You don't want to try something and really enjoy it, but then, you know, quote unquote fail, you know, at it. But you never really fail, in my opinion, if you tried it. You got room for improvement, or you decided, that, hey, I didn't like that, and you walked away from it, and that you could check that off. Now it's no longer nagging at you.
Right.
But no, yeah, I think that yeah, trying different things is hard just because, and it's because it's going to take you out of your comfort zone too.
Mhm.
That's the biggest, that's one of the biggest things as well, is we get so comfortable in our routines and comfortable in what we're doing. And it's like, okay, I know I got to get up tomorrow, I got to go to work, I got to do this, got to do, you have it all planned out in your head, but like you got to, you're just going to take you out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things too, I think is a big thing. It's just it takes you out of your comfort zone to kind of explore these things. And that's why I think a lot of people don't do it, is just, fear of failure. Some people fear of success, but it's also just the taking you out of your comfort zone.
I
So,
think that's a good one. It's always learning either way. I think that's true. Always learning either way. I
oh yeah.
liken what you said to. So if anybody follows me, and if you don't, here you go. I have heart disease, and I've been very open with that. And so that has obviously, well, not obviously, maybe it's not obvious, but my running cardio is I enjoy working out. I'm into fitness. I'm a personal trainer, but I will not win the Tour de France or anything that has to do with cardio. I'm not going to bike, swim, and run all at the same time.
Right.
And I decided to do a half marathon. And to your
Cool.
point, I said, to myself, like, I mean, it would be great, right, if I won, but, I didn't win, but
Right.
I completed,
Right.
and that's what I called myself, a completer.
Right.
I trained for it really super, super, super hard,
Yeah.
and completed. And that, was my purpose for that time, right? It
Right.
wasn't something where I said, to your point, I don't know, to some people did I win, to some people did I fail? I don't know, right? That's in the eye of the beholder. I don't even know where I placed within my age bracket, but I completed,
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. He actually told me that I was going to find my success in an area of entertainment other than acting that I didn't expect. I was resistant to what he said at first, but later he was proved right. Sounds like the story there. And then one more comment. Hey, I don't know you, but I'm proud of you. There you go.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
So
that.
sounds like there's a story there.
Yeah, so that's my buddy Jay. So first of all, we've known each other since we were like 5, 6 years old. So that's my best friend there. So we've known each other forever. So yeah, we had a conversation, and a lot of times, and he knows this because he's done it for me as well. A lot of times, people outside of you. That's why it's a lot of times it's good to have people that you respect to talk to, and people that you go with. Outside of you can kind of see. I like to say, I guess, different timelines than what you're seeing. Like you might be folk or see things without the blinders because they've got the full view. You've got this much view. You only look in this much, but they see everything kind of around you and what's happening with you. And so I kind of felt, I was like, hey, this is going to probably be a little different than the way that you think it's going to be. So yeah, so it ended up that, a lot of his success is coming through the stunts versus just the straight acting. And so that's what, I was explaining to him. But to that point, I think that's why it's important to either a coach or having somebody, that is close to you, that is a confidant that you can trust and believe in, that's just going to shoot you straight. And tell you what they're seeing and tell you what you miss, because he'll do that with me all the time. He's like, oh, no, it's going to be this, and it's just like, I might not want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear it, but it typically, it causes your brain to think a different way, so yeah.
It challenges you.
Yeah. It challenges you. But because, I mean, like I said, I think just in life, we get so tunnel vision and tunnel focus on, it's going to be this, it's going to be that way, it's going to be that we don't see what it is and what it could be. So we miss out on what it is right now versus pushing it out to that next day, and we miss on what it could be because we're so focused on what it's going to be in our mind.
Right.
So, yeah.
So a couple of quick things before we close out. So number one, thank you for being proud of you for completing the marathon. Whoever said that. I saw a comment there. Is it Beach Man? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but thank you for being proud of me.
Oh, Beach Mama. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Number two, Chauncey, I don't know if you saw the interview that I did or the conversation I had with Jay, but you know, so he's just fitness phenom, you know.
All right.
And when he came on, I was like, you know what, I came from the gym and I had on my, like, I'm going to show my guns, you know. He came on all dressed up, and I was like, Jay, I did this because I felt like if I was going to have
parts of it,
on that did this for a living, I needed to show that, you know,
right.
guns too. But it was funny because he didn't even have his guns out then. I think that was during the time he was doing 1 million push-ups a day or something.
Yeah,
and
I think he came in super.
You go back and look at the interview, you'll see my guns, and he's like, I think he's almost like in a suit, and I'm like, what happened to the guns? I was ready.
I remember seeing parts of that.
So I appreciate him for that, because that, you know, I was just thinking about it. Like I saw him on Insta doing all those push-ups, thinking I cannot watch this every day. And not, what did he say? Something funny. It was the greatest moment in interview history. Yeah, it was, because if you go back and look at it, you'll see I'm in my shirt with no sleeves. So we are at 8:01. So I just want to one more question. So if people watch this show or follow on my channel, and I know some people are going to be crying tears, but I save cats in my backyard. Okay, I know. Well, that's a whole nother show. Okay. I save cats in my backyard. And you know what they say about cats and curiosity? Yeah. So my final question, Jay, we're going to do a follow-up for sure. Well, actually, Jay, yes, we're going to do a follow-up with you and Chauncey. So I'm going to reach out to you too. But yeah.
There we go.
So I keep people within the half an hour, but we will do a follow-up. Chauncey, what are you curious about?
What?
I never send people that question, because I want them. If they didn't watch the other ones, then they're going to be surprised.
Yeah. What am I curious about? This is the first thing that comes to mind, so I'm going to say it. I always like to go with my first one. I am curious to see what kind of world this world can be if everybody took a time to go within and actually tap into themselves. So I would, and hopefully, what I bring to this world will help with people, you know, realizing to look within themselves. People like you, what you bring to this world, help people, and just, you know, in a couple of generations, people will be more self-aware, will be more, you know, aware of themselves. Because if you have love, if you like, just to wrap it all up, if you with the self-love we were talking about before, so if you have more self-love for yourself, you're gonna have more self-love for your neighbor, because you know, love thyself, you love thy neighbor as thyself, but you got to first love yourself first, right? So I think that, you know, but a lot of people aren't willing to look inside those deep, dark caves. So I am curious about, because I realistically think that we're on that path and trajectory here in the world of people being more self-aware. And once that happens in 2 or 3 generations, once that becomes a mainstay, I'm just curious to see what the world's going to be like then. So this is maybe a little esoteric, but
no, hey, that's you know what, that's it, right? Like you said, like if we all took a look within, you know, where could we be?
Right.
Where would we be? And so with that said, people, thank you so much. This is the Terran Lamp Show. This has been episode number 88. I want to thank Chauncey for coming on today. Yes, we're going to do follow-up interviews. We are going to do them in the semi-near future. I truly appreciate everyone coming on. Make sure you are liking, following, subscribing. Also check my story today. My Cash App is actually in my story. So for those who may be watching, it is a total in kind. So I am not an official 501c3. I'm not an official anything, a good old fashioned person. I go to my own cancer treatments. And when I go to my cancer treatment, whatever is in that Cash App with Survivor in the comments, I pay off a bill or pay a portion of a bill for a cancer patient. I specifically did not do a 501c3 because I didn't want any red tape. The people at the cancer center know me. I am able to thankfully go and ask them who is in need and pay it directly to that patient. I do not I do honor privacy. So I do not have specific patient names or numbers, just to let everybody know. All I have is someone that's in need, and that's all I need to know is what they need. The rest of it is just, I'm just very thankful. So my Cash App is in my stories as of today. Chauncey, be good to yourself. Everybody be good to yourself. I'll see you guys next week, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be good to yourself and each other.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.